Hi, I'm Henrik and
I'm Pasi.
we're from SONATA ARCTICA and you are checking out Metal Wani.
So welcome and greetings from Metal Wani. We are at the London O2 Islington tonight for the SONATA ARCTICA show. So how are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only the second day of the tour, so
Yeah.
nobody's too tired yet, and we're in good spirits. We sold out the show tonight, so I think it's going to be great.
So yeah, you're performing your debut album, Ecliptica, here on the entirely, and I guess some of your best hits. So any surprises?
Well, I don't know. If I say it, then it's not going to be a surprise. Yeah, we're going to play the show is based on playing the entire Ecliptica, and then we threw in a couple of more songs. So we keep it to a reasonable length, about 1.5 hours until the show anyway. So. But it's really hard to choose what to play outside of Ecliptica because we got so many albums out and so little time. So I hope we've made the right choices. But
Indeed.
we'll see about that.
So throughout the history of SONATA ARCTICA, each album has a unique feel to it. Your latest effort, Pariah Child, has a more upbeat and fun feel to it. Album, so especially on a song like Cloud Factory.
Yeah.
So what decides the general tone of this new album?
Well, I think it's part of everything. It's part of course, it starts with the songs, and then a lot has to do with the production, what kind of sounds we choose, and also which songs we choose to start to work on. For example, this time I think Tony had like 20 or 30 demos, and me and Tommy went to his house, and then we started to talk about it and picked our favorites, and then he wrote some more stuff to fit in that way. And so there's a lot of small things that go into it, and then at the end of the day you end up with something, and hopefully you're proud of it and happy about it. So.
And we are.
Yeah, and we are. Yeah.
In the song Larger Than Life on your latest album, there is a very heavy Queen feel, if I can say. So what inspired you to write a song which is more like a rock anthem compared to the past?
I think Tony would probably know better about this, but we have had like in the past, usually on the albums we have like 1 or 2 bigger songs, and this was the one that we did for this album. This was a song that when we were listening to Tony's demos, he said like this has to be on the album, so there was no discussion about it. And I think it was really cool to work on it. It was a big song. It took us a while to get it just right, but in the end I think it paid off and turned out really well.
Yes.
Yes.
Your lyrics always been very based on reality, dealing with real world issues rather than more fictional subjects. Matter like other bands on the same style tend to gravitate towards. So do you know if Tony drew his influence from some of the most serious songs from his own life, or more from issues he observed around him, basically?
Actually, yeah, it's more books and movies and stuff.
And stuff he sees around, and maybe he gets an idea from something, and then he wants to write about that. But
it's not based on his life, because he would be a really sorry motherfucker if all that shit would have happened to him. So. And a lot of the songs tend to end badly or be really sad. So it's just it's his imagination more than his real life. I'm happy to say that.
Are you joining on a songwriting as well, guys, or is really Tony doing all the work on that?
He does all the songwriting, but then when we start to play with the band, we work on the arrangements together. But like the initial ideas always come from him. Like he has demos, and then we start to check them out and work from there. So it's his fault.
From Ecliptica to Pariah Child, SONATA ARCTICA sounds has drastically changed throughout the years. So is that due to a natural evolution from the band and yourself, guys, or more to a conscious effort to constantly renew yourself?
I would say both, and I mean, of course it happens naturally, and I like different things now that I liked 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and then also we try to always bring a little bit of something new when we make a new album, because I think repeating ourselves would just be boring, at least for us. So, and of course it's interesting. I mean, some people like the early stuff better, some people like the later stuff, and you never know how it turns out. But we start by doing stuff that we like, and then we just hope that somebody else will like it too. So yeah, it's pretty natural, I would say.
I've been only on Pariah chart, so.
So you guys have now 8 albums in your discography and been playing for 16 years. So what did you make you want to re-record your first album?
It was asked from our Japanese label, and then we just a little bit melted and told it through, and if we want to do it, and we voted, and then we decided to do it. And
yeah, it's more of a tribute, I would say, to the first album, since only 2 of the guys are the same that were in the band at that time. So
yeah, so it's the same album with the new lineup. So
yeah, it's a tribute.
Yeah. So how was the process?
It was really fun and easy.
Yeah, we finished Pariah's Child, and then we just had a couple of weeks vacation, and then Tommy came back to the studio, and we started from the top again, and started to record drums for Ecliptica.
And then all the other stuff like guitars, keyboards, and vocals and everything was done at our home studios.
Yeah.
You know, in between we were already on the road, so whenever we had a break, you played a few tracks, and it was a nice hobby project, whatever you want to call it.
The subgenre classification of metal is always a big debate amongst metal fans throughout the world. Sonata Arctica is fairly difficult to classify, oftentimes referred as a power metal or symphonic metal, progressive metal, or even melodic rock. So how do you feel about all those subgenres floating around?
I think they all fit. So.
Yeah, Sonata has its own sound. I think that when Tony sings, you can hear that this is Sonata Arctica. And when he has wrote the songs, there's on every song there's elements that you can hear that it's his written songs.
Yeah.
But maybe it's power metal, maybe it's melodic metal, maybe it's
we don't know. I don't think we have to know this. You know, we just go out there and play. And it's like, if you listen to our songs, it's basically pop music with distorted guitars. So it's like, I mean,
and fast drumming.
Yeah, and fast drumming. So you can stretch it either way you want. But it's I don't care what genre people call us. You know, it's to me it's just good music, and that's it.
That's
or
true.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
It's good for me at least.
How does it affect you when fans criticize the direction that Sonata Arctica has gone in moving away from the classic sound of the early Sonata albums?
Oh, shit happens. No, it's I can understand that. It's the same with me. You know, like the albums you first hear from a band are usually the albums you like the most.
Yeah.
And then of course, if the band progresses, sometimes you like it and sometimes you don't. But as a musician or as musicians, we need to reinvent ourselves and learn,
improve
and find new stuff and to keep it interesting. So, you know, if you like the earlier albums, then just listen to them. You know? There's nothing we can do about it. And first and foremost, I mean, we are the guys who have to live with this music all the time.
Yeah.
So we don't have a choice in that regard. So I think it's, of course, it's unfortunate if people don't like our music, but usually if you make a new album, it's always the same. Some fans like it, some fans don't, and then you get some new people who say that they didn't like the earlier stuff, but they like this stuff and whatever. So it's you can't win that battle, you know. If you don't like it, listen to something else. Sorry.
How do you feel about the influence that your music has to the younger generation of musicians that may try to emulate what you guys doing or what Sonata Arctica?
I think it's nice. I mean, of course, it makes you feel a bit old, but, but it's yeah. I think it's great. I mean, it's really I feel honored. You know, if somebody actually wants to go to the effort and try to sound like you. You know, it's really nice.
Are you expecting on touring India, by any chance?
We had some talks some years ago, but then there was some riots or whatever, so they cancelled the permit for the festivals, for organizing festivals. So it would be nice to go there one day. I mean, it's like, we always love to go to places we haven't been before. And so let's keep our fingers crossed and maybe we can work it out at some point. Yeah. Definitely, it would be cool.
Perfect, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.